Welcome to a few moments together on the Parsha. This Shabbos, we have the privilege of reading Parshas Vayishlach. Now, right by Shlishi in Parshas Vayishlach, the Pasuk says, in Perik Lamed Beis, Pasuk Lamed Beis, the Pasuk says that as Yaakov was leaving the place where he had slept, and he had the vision and the battle with the Sar Shel Esav, and he was victorious, although wounded, the Pasuk says, Vayizrach lo Hashemesh, that the sun shone for him, Ka'asher Ovar es Penuel, when he passed by the place known as Penuel, like Panim Shel Kael. After he passed by the place where he had had a discussion with Hashem, and he was victorious. And when he fought the Sar Shel Esav and was victorious, the pasuk says, Vayizrach lo Hashemesh, the sun shone for him. Now there's a fascinating Gemara in Chulin on Daf Tzadik Aleph, in which the Gemara raises the following question, and it is a discussion between Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Akiva. The Gemara says, and I'll read it for you. You take a look at it in Chulin Tzadik Aleph. Omar Rabbi Akiva, Sha'alti es Rabbi Gamliel v'es Rabbi Yoshua. I asked Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Yehoshua be'itlis shel ima'um, when we were at the, you might say, slaughterhouse of ima'um, where meat was slaughtered and sold for the purpose of making a simcha, like when you make a wedding. Sheholchu likach behema lemishta shel beno shel Rabbi Gamliel. They went to buy an animal that they would slaughter for the sake of the wedding of the son of Rabbi Gamliel. So he says, the pasuk tells us, Ksiv vayizrach lo hashemesh, the sun shone for him. V'chi shemesh lo levado zarcha. Is it that the sun shone only for Yaakov? That's ridiculous. The sun shines for the whole world. V'halo l'chol ha'olam zarcha. The sun shines for the whole world. Why does it say specifically Vayizrach lo Hashemesh, that the sun shone for him, for Yaakov? Amar Rabbi Yitzchak. Rabbi Yitzchak says this sun refers back to Parshas Vayetze. Shemesh habo'a ba'avuro, the sun which had set suddenly, so that when Yaakov was running away, he would stop and daven over there. Shemesh habo'a ba'avuro, the sun which had set suddenly for him, zarcha ba'avuro, was now the one that shone for him specifically. At some point, when Yaakov was running away from the machinations of Esav to destroy him, he stopped and davened at a place because the sun had set for him. And now that same sun that had set for him, zarcholo, and that's why it says Vayizrach lo Hashemesh, that the sun shone for him, because that was the same sun that set, was now the sun that shone for Yaakov. You know, in the history of the Jewish people, there have been numerous times where the sun had set for the Jewish people. There are numerous times where it looked as if the Jewish people were in dire straits and would never come out of the situation whole. Yaakov Avinu was running away, and he was pursued by Esav, and he came to the house of Lavan, and there was trouble there too. And now, when he's coming back to Eretz Yisrael, he's threatened with his life once again, but the sun shines for him. Says Reb Menachem ben Zion Zaks in his beautiful parish, the Menachem Tzion on the Chumash, he says, you know, in the history of the Jewish people, the sun has set many, many times. But what happens? Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Yoshua, they were living at the time of the second Beis HaMikdash. Rabbi Akiva is there. This is the time of the destruction of the second Beis HaMikdash. It's a time where it seems as if the sun is setting and there's going to be nothing left of Klal Yisrael. We know of the travail that the 10 martyrs, the Asara Hugei Malchus, went through at the time of the destruction of the second Beis HaMikdash. And the sun seemed to have set on the Jewish people. There seemed to be no hope. And here Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Yeshua are going to make a chasana for the son of Rabbi Yeshua. And many people would say, what's the point of getting married and having further Jewish children? It seems that there's not going to be a future for them. You might as well give up and not have any hope for the future of the Jewish people. But Rabbi Akiva didn't say that. Rabbi Akiva said the sun that set for him is the sun that shines for him now. It's the same sun. And that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is watching out for the Jewish people. And just as Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Yeshua were making a chasana, and Rabbi Akiva was there to give them chizuk, Rabbi Akiva is the one who, at the end of Makkos, when everyone else was crying, when they saw a fox running through the precincts of the Beis HaMikdash, Rabbi Akiva laughed, because he said, if this prophecy came true, then the other prophecies are certainly going to also come true, and that there's hope for Klal Yisrael. There's a hope for the future of the Jewish people. When we are going through such terrible times, and the Jewish people have always gone through such difficult times, and isn't it so that the generation that survived by the skin of their teeth the tragedies of the early middle 19th, 20th century, the Holocaust, and the Spanish Inquisition before that, and all the other persecutions, whether it be the persecutions of Egypt or Greece or Babylon or Persia or Rome, whatever it was, Spanish Inquisitions, nothing short of pogroms throughout Europe. And we survived. And we not only survived, but the same sun that set for us shines for us. So Rabbi Akiva, in this marketplace where everybody was wondering, why are you making a wedding? Don't you give up? He said, no. The same sun that set is the sun that shines. And there's a bright future for the Jewish people. And so Rabbi Akiva laughed when he saw the fox running through the precincts of the Beis HaMikdash, because that means that if that prophecy came true, then the prophecies of the coming of the Mashiach and the peace and the leadership of Klal Yisrael to reassert itself and to be whole again is also going to come true. We do not give up. We are the eternal Jewish people. And because we are the eternal Jewish people, the sun that may seem to be setting on one side, the fact remains that it's shining again for the same Jewish people once again. And despite the terrible tragedies of these past few months, where the Jewish people have lived through it's hard to even say mini Holocaust, a major event of destruction directed specifically against Jews through anti-Semitism, and the world is just not getting it. They can't get it. They can't understand, how do these Jews survive? How do they continue on? Why don't they just give up? If any one of us would have had this, we wouldn't, small in number, we're not a major power, we surely would have not survived. And yet the Jewish people don't give up. And that's the message that Rabbi Akiva was imparting to Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Yeshua, and that what the Gemara was imparting to us, and what the Pasuk is imparting to us when it says, Vayizrach lo Hashemesh, the sun shone once again. It's going to shine for the Jewish people. Let's keep it going. We, in our emunah and our bitachon, in our certainty of the Yeshuas Hashem keheref ayin, that the salvation of God can come in the blink of an eye, we do not give up, and we look to a bright future. And just as, even though Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Gamliel, and Rabbi Yeshua lived through the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash, Vayizrach lo Hashemesh, the same sun that set at some point shines for the Jewish people once again. And Netzach Yisrael lo Yishaker, the victory for Klal Yisrael is not a falsehood. It's something that will take place speedily in our time. What a great message by the Menachem Tzion on Parshas Vayishlach. Let's try to plug into that and think to ourselves, Vayizrach lo hashemesh. The sun is going to shine for us again. It's already beginning to shine. And we should have the emunah and the bitachon to see it carried through, to be part of this eternal Jewish people by plugging into our heritage, into our tefillah, into our learning, into our growth as part of the Jewish people that don't give up and that see the sun shining once again. Shabbat Shalom u'Mevorach. Have a wonderful, wonderful Shabbos.